Let's go. Today I'm talking about the 1988 film Alice. As always, this review is going to be spoiler free, so if you like what you see, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This movie is an adaptation of the classic children's tale Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, only everything that was cute and wholesome about that original story has been turned on its head here and replaced by a surreal and slightly horrifying new vision. As the movie begins, Alice is in her room throwing rocks into a cup of tea when she hears a weird creaking noise, which kind of becomes a motif throughout the movie. And she turns around to find the white rabbit, who in this movie is not a real rabbit, but instead is a taxidermy rabbit stuffed with sawdust. And the rabbit has come to life. And instead of leading her down a rabbit hole, he leads her into a desk drawer, which is now, in this movie, the gateway into the world of Wonderland. And from there, things just get weirder and weirder and weirder. This is seriously one of the weirdest movies that I have ever seen. To start, there is almost no dialogue. The only words spoken are by the narrator, and it's not strictly a voiceover like you might expect. Instead, we actually cut to the narrator's mouth as she's saying these lines, and then we cut back to the movie, and occasionally some of the characters will be lip-syncing with the narrator, but none of them are actually speaking their own dialogue. Another weird choice is the characters that characterize this movie, the creatures. All of them are puppets animated by stop motion and brought to life using some truly questionable sound effects. Seriously, the sounds that these creatures make when they move around are just downright bizarre. And the stop motion gives their movements this weird kind of jittery, unpredictable quality that just adds to the weirdness of the movie. But by far, the weirdest part about the movie is the way that the creatures look. The white rabbit here is no longer a cute animal. Instead, he is characterized by these weird bulging eyeballs that are just popping out of his taxidermy head, and his teeth are sticking way too far out in front of his mouth. He looks creepy and threatening, not like a cute animal that's going to guide a little girl into a mysterious world. And the rabbit is one of the less weird creatures in this movie. Many of the other characters sport taxidermy animal bodies with skulls for heads and those same bulging eyes popping out of their eye sockets. But all the creepiness and awesome creature designs and creative stop motion come to a head in the incredible pantry scene, which is probably the most popular scene from the movie. And it is so creative and so well done. I'm not even going to spoil it. You just have to see it for yourself. From the start, I'm just vibing with this movie. And as the movie goes on, I'm continuously amazed by the creativity and the ideas that these filmmakers come up with in order to turn these original ideas on their head and make them fresh and new and surreal and different. As far as complaints go, I don't have too many. There are a few points in the movie where I do feel like it's maybe stalling a little bit. This is a pretty short movie, but surprisingly, there are some scenes where I feel like they go on for a little bit too long. They maybe repeat the same idea a few too many times. But with it being such a short movie, it's hard to say that this movie is overstuffed or too bloated or anything like that. It's just that there are some points that are a little bit slow and that I wasn't super invested in. But yeah, this is an insanely creative, surreal, and slightly unsettling new vision of a children's classic that is actually going to work better for adults than it does for kids. In fact, you might want to keep the little ones away from this movie because it's probably going to freak them out. Yeah, I really loved it. If bizarre surrealism is your cup of tea, then this movie's got you covered. In my opinion, it's a light 8 out of 10.